So today's lesson, 7th grade, is about what we call similar triangles. This is not going to be a difficult concept for you, this idea of similar triangles. Similar triangles basically mean all angles are congruent, okay? And corresponding sides form a ratio. So there are two things that make triangles similar. Similar means that they're kind of alike, but they're not totally alike. We know that. If we say, those two people over there look similar. Might mean they have the same color eyes. It might mean they're about the same height. It might mean they both have dark hair. Who knows? But they're similar, but they're not exactly the same. Triangles, when it comes to similar triangles, it's the same idea. They're similar. They have some things that are alike, but they're not exactly the same. Now, we talked about yesterday how all triangles, or at some point earlier in chapter 11, we talked about how all triangles have a total of 180 degrees. Triangles have three sides, thus they have three angles, and those three angles added together, no matter how big or small the triangle is, that the sum of those angle measurements is 180 degrees. So you're going to have to do a couple of different things today. First of all, they're going to give you a couple of triangles, and you're going to have to figure out whether or not the triangles are similar. So if we look at, let's say I have two triangles here. All right. So we have this triangle here. This angle right here is 39 degrees. This angle right here, 34 degrees. And we're going to call this x degrees. Then we have another triangle. Okay, not exactly the same, but it kind of looks similar. We're going to say that this angle right here is 107 degrees, and this angle right here is 39 degrees. And this right here is going to be y degrees. Our job is to figure out whether or not these two triangles are similar. So we know that similar means all angles are congruent, and number two, corresponding sides form a ratio. We're not going to be focusing on the idea that corresponding sides form a ratio. That'll be for another time. But essentially, in simple terms, 7th grade, what that means is that the triangles may not be the exact same size. One may be bigger than the other, one may be smaller than the other. But they would be similar because all the angles are congruent. So I'm going to look at this first triangle here, 39 degrees, 34 degrees, x degrees. Now remember what we did the other day. In solving for x, we want to remember that all triangles, all three angles, equal 180 degrees. So the first thing I want to do to figure out if these triangles are similar is to figure out what x is. The first thing I'm going to do is 39 plus 34. I do 39 plus 34. 9 plus 4 is 13. Put the 3 down, carry the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 3 is 7. I get 73 degrees. That does not mean x equals 73. That just means those two combined equal 73. Total, it equals 180. So I want to take my total, which is 180, and I'm going to take away the 73, which is what these two are combined. Because whatever is left, that's what x is going to be. So I'm going to take 180 minus 73. I'm going to borrow from the 8, make it a 7. Make the 0 a 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. 7 minus 7 is 0. 1 minus nothing is 1. So I find that x equals 107 degrees. Okay? So they And so I see that in this angle, I have a 39-degree angle, a 34-degree angle, and a 107-degree angle. Now, if all three of the angles in this other triangle were to be the same, then they would be similar. Well, I see that I have a 187-degree angle here. So they both have a 187-degree angle. This here is a 39-degree angle. I have a 39-degree angle right here in this triangle, which means then if I were to do the math, that for this to equal 180, this would have to be 34, just like this one here, which means that yes, these are similar. Now, if you go through that process and they do not equal the same, and they're both, and the angle measurements are different, then it would be a no, they are not similar. Now, the second part of what you're doing, okay, tells you this. It tells you already that the triangles are similar. So I'm going to have two triangles here. Want to remember what that is? Remember, that means it's a right angle, okay? This is x degrees. And then I'm going to have another triangle right here. And I have a right angle right there. So I have two right triangles because they both have a right angle. This angle right here is going to be 65 degrees. This angle right here is going to be 25 degrees. Now I want to see if these triangles are similar. So I'm looking here and I'm saying, okay, first of all, I have a right angle, I have a 65-degree angle, and I have a 25-degree angle. Now remember what the deal is here. I have to find x, but what they told me already is that the triangles are similar, which means all of the angles are the same. Okay, they've already told me that they are similar. So here's my right angle. My right angle's right here. My right angle's right here in that triangle. Now, if this angle here is 25 degrees up above at the pinnacle, okay, of the triangle, then that tells me that this angle right here at the pinnacle of this triangle must also be 25 degrees because the angles are similar, which means that the angle measurements are congruent. Which that tells me then that in this triangle, since the measurement right next to the right angle down here is 65 degrees, the measurement over here right next to the right angle must also be 65 degrees. So that tells me in that situation that x equals 65 degrees. That 7th grade is similar triangles. Have a great day.